All right, Chiron and Virgo transformation. Over the past 8 months, it's been stable and testing. And what I mean by that is I'm at a place where I'm learning the fake stability of a job. And, like, for instance, the job that I work at, um, it costs to get there. Like, it really costs. And what I said to myself the other day was, and I'm next time I speak to my boss, I'm gonna tell him this straight up: that this job hasn't paid for itself yet. So because of the rut that I'm in, this job came in the best timing for me, the best timing, but the worst occasion. And what I mean by that is it came in the best timing as far as getting my bills paid, but it came in the worst occasion in the sense of I'm in a drought. So if I wasn't working my other jobs, I couldn't have came here. So I'm working check to come here on top of paying my bills. So while I'm backed up in rent, I'm not gonna see the fruits of my labor when it comes to this job until my at least my fourth check, my third or fourth check, right? So because I'm not gonna see the fruits of my labor until the third or fourth check, and thank God he let me go past the 2 week mark, and I said I can work. It's just that again I have to get paid to work. Because I don't drive, I don't have a car, nobody's picking me up, I don't have parents. The two people, like for instance, the two guys who work there, the two guys who, one of the, actually, no, one of the three people, um, one of the three people who live there are under 18 years old. And I was like, or 17 or 18 years old, and all of them get picked up by their parents. And I said, I'm an adult. Nobody picks me up. Um, nobody, uh, nobody picks me up. Nobody drops me off to work. None of that. And and it would look weird if I asked my landlord, "Hey, can you pick me up from work?" I would do that if it's an emergency. Like, damn, I'm caught up. And or I would ask somebody I don't really talk to, like, hey, can you lend me that, right? Um, but the healing of my Chiron and Virgo is I had to really sit down today and go through real clarity because I can become an entrepreneur on a very high level, high successful level. Because I said these jobs, what being an independent contractor taught me a lot about how to see jobs, how to view jobs, how to understand how they're quick to get rid of you. Now, the difference between being a temp and actually being an employee, um, employee usually, if you have a decent boss, they're not gonna fire you off whim, especially if they need you. A lot of people fire temps to show their authority. A lot of people fire temps to, yeah, to exude power. It's not because um it's not because they really they it's not because they really did something wrong, and they want temps to work as hard, if not harder, than the actual employees. and they want them to learn quicker than the actual employees. And I'm like, it was just an unfair advantage for a lot of temps. And because in a lot of ways, as temps, we were getting paid more than the actual employees. There are many jobs where I was getting paid more than the actual employees. So they felt, if they knew that, they probably felt some type of way about us. So, um, so I had to learn to, in that understanding, like everything is temporary. So have I ever gotten fired from a job? I think once when my uncle employed me. But that was the only time that I ever picked up a job and I got fired. Um, I never, yeah, actually, when I think about it, if I ever got a job on my own, I never got fired. Um, like I actually went through the interview process. Nobody showed up for me. Nobody, nothing. I handed in my resume, all that, and they saw I was committed to the work. Um, that I do that, and I would say I don't even like mention since my boss told me I was like, yo, he was trying to finesse me into like working more hours, and I'm like, no, it's not that I can't work more hours. It's just that I have to get paid to come here. So if I'm not getting paid, then how am I supposed to get here? Jersey is not New York where you can hop on the train and they won't check you for it. They'll stop the whole train or tell you to get off at the next stop, arrest you, and then put you in jail. You know, like if this was in New York, I could hop the turnstile all motherfucking day and get to work. Um, um, so and to some extent, I may even have the same issue because depending on how late I get out, I may run into the same motherfucking issue for real. Um, Most likely. Because when you get out after a certain time, you can't hop the pack train. Because right by 34th Street, there's a whole bunch of cops there at like certain times at night. So, so it just depends on how it's set up. You feel what I'm saying? So what I would say is this healing in Chiron in Virgo in the second house is you really have to know your worth. You really have to stick to the plan. Like when I say that's a key phrase for Chiron and Virgo, stick to the motherfucking plan. Review your notes. Review what you thought is right. And especially if you like, here's the thing, right? If you know what you did or done before has a track record, all you need to do is just improve yourself. You need to do that. As I talk to you, I'm talking to myself. So what I'm learning is that every job is temporary, and I said this job needs an investment for me to get there. It took me $60 to $70 to get the job without getting a paycheck. Then it took me another $20 to $30 to get to work. Um, um, so, and this is the thing I was talking about all these years about being an entrepreneur. It takes investment to get a job. Eventually, here's the thing that I'm struggling with right now. My living situation. I said I have to downgrade my living situation if this is my only source of income, because this is working harder, not smarter. And what that means is, yes, I can work 4 or 5 days a week and pay my $1,200 every like 2 weeks. But like I'm killing myself for, let's say 160 times 5, if I were just 5 days a week for 2 weeks, um, or 4 days a week for 2 weeks, my rent is covered, right? But I'm not gonna see momentum like that until like my third check. Right now, I'm about to get my second check. So, um, I actually, if me and my boss talk again, I said that's my situation. This is my second check. So until my third or fourth check, and I would really even say my fourth or fifth check. Um, and I had to even learn this as well. Like with Nolo, it rearranged my mindset. I was getting paid almost 8 times a month, 8 to 15 times a month, not 8 to 15, 8 to 10 times a month. So I was getting paid every 3 days. I'm gonna actually go do the math on how many times I would get paid if it's 30 days in a month. Yeah, I would actually get paid 10 times a month. And yes, it only accumulated to if I was man, if I was doing better, this is why I wish I wasn't so lackadaisical. Yeah, I know I'm on the toilet. If I wasn't, this is why I wish I wasn't bullshitting with it sometimes, because it was such a good opportunity that that uh that I was getting paid 10 times a month. And I actually need to reincarnate that. Like I was getting paid, yeah, I was getting paid every 3 days. So if I'm getting paid, yeah, there's 30 days in a month, and you're getting paid every 3 days, you get paid 10 times a month. And I said I can't get paid 2 times a month anymore. Like I realize how insufficient that is. I need to get paid at least 8 times a month to be self-sufficient. That whole you get paid every 2 weeks, that's a dub. And because that's not realizing you need to get paid every week. At least. You at least need to keep your mind sane. You at least need to get paid 4 times a month. To get paid twice a month is horrible because depending on how many hours you work, etc. Now, even if you make a good lump sum of money in 2 weeks, it's not the same. Cause okay, I'm gonna give you an example. My home associate of mine, he was getting paid twice a week from Everplate, one of the companies I was working for, and I was like, nah, we get paid every 3 days, bro. And once he went to Manolo, and he started getting paid every 3 days. He changed his whole mindset. He was like, nah, bro, I can't go back to working a regular job because I'm getting paid every 3 days. It's like a rug. And it is when you start getting paid every 3 days, or every 1.5 days. It's different. Um. So yeah, like when you have Virgo and Chiron, you really gotta create your own schedule and learn how to master working for yourself and stick to your motherfucking plan. Because what jobs taught me in those moments, they hire you and fire you. So I can't even believe in the security of this job anymore. I don't trust it. I don't wish no ill on it, but I don't trust it because jobs, for me, they came and they went. So I have to wrench this security as I can and then move quickly. Part one.